Hello everyone and welcome to my review for Chainsaw Man Chapter 93. Just as a disclaimer, at the end of this video I am going to be addressing some rumors about Chainsaw Man, specifically in regards to an anime adaptation, so stay tuned for that if you're interested. Now, this week's chapter seems to be the beginning of the climax of Chainsaw Man. So, we see what Denji's reaction is to all of his adoration on television from last week, because at the end of the last chapter we saw that he was very entranced by what was going on, with everyone praising him and calling him a hero. And we see now that Denji is extremely moved by how fucking popular he is. He absolutely loves it. He's crying, he's blushing, he loves it. And he realizes that he wants to have a lot better than the bare minimum that he's basically been getting with his life with Makima, you know. Denji doesn't want a normal life. Denji wants a fucking extravagant life. Which, you know what? I think the kid deserves after all the shit he's been through. Like, could you really say that after all the terrible stuff that's happened to Denji over the last 93 chapters, that the guy doesn't deserve to live the rest of his life in comfort? You know, he wants to eat steak and shit for breakfast every day, which is like, you know, steak and eggs, that's some good shit. And he wants like 5 girlfriends and to fuck all of them. So, a lot of us thought that the horny had gone away. It had been replaced by a desire for happiness and then just sheer depression. But no, horny is back. And perhaps grander than ever, not only does he just want to touch a boob and fuck Makima, he wants to fuck a bunch of people. At the same time, probably. He wants to be Chainsaw Man. He wants to be this lauded hero that is beloved by the populace and just is fucking washed in love and adoration and gifts and stuff like that. And can you really say that you blame him? Basically, he'd be getting all of this stuff that Makima's not providing for him. So, I support him in this endeavor. Now, Kishibe... Kishibe, just the look on his face. Like, can you imagine this teenager breaks down in front of you and says that he wants to have, like, 5 or 10 girlfriends and have tons of sex? Just this dead stare that he gives Denji. This middle-aged Japanese man that has spent the last several decades killing devils and watching his co-workers get killed by devils. Finding out that his sensei crush is actually a huge Chad lesbian probably has more testosterone than Kishibe does. And now here you are risking your life to save, I don't know, is Kobeni a teenager? What age is Kobeni? I'm gonna assume Kobeni's in like her 20s or something, I don't know. I don't know if it's ever been stated somewhere. But like this useless person and this exceptionally horny teenager, who is also perhaps potentially the strongest creature on the planet at the moment, and he just broke down in front of you talking about how he wants to eat a bunch of food and have a ton of sex, and you just have this look, just this fucking stare. So, he tells Denji that the next time he becomes Chainsaw Man, he's gonna have to kill Makima. So then we see the next time that he turns into Chainsaw Man and Makima's there. Now, we do have a very important revelation, and this is the fact that Denji apparently still likes Makima. Despite the fact that she has killed a bunch of his friends, his basically family, and has stated that she just wants to destroy and create all of his happiness. She just wants to have complete and utter control over his life. And despite all of that, he's still attracted to her. I'm sure this is very important to the themes of Chainsaw Man, but this is more of that abuse stuff that I talked about, how you sort of get like a Stockholm syndrome, where if you've been around someone that you really got a lot of feelings for, maybe they're your first ever partner, or they've just provided a lot for you, but they beat the shit out of you like every day, and they completely deride your worth as a human being. Despite all of the bad shit, the good shit, quote-unquote, makes it really, really hard to let go. So, that's sort of what Denji's going through here, which is interesting. It's good to see that we've still got some depth, some fucking depth to his character here, despite him turning into a emotionless murder machine for the last, for 8 previous chapters. He was basically, comatose walking around. Now, we seem to have the setup for the final battle of the series. You've got Denji in the graveyard for the Devil Hunters. We've been here a couple times. Shit, why am I forgetting her name? Himeno! Himeno had a flashback here with Kishibe. This is where Denji and Power met Kishibe. This place seems to, I guess, represent the history of the Devil Hunters, and also, I guess, sort of what the Devil Hunters are risking in their day-to-day job. I don't know how to really, adequately put it into words right now. But this is where Kishibe said that basically you have to be kind of crazy to be a Devil Hunter. And that something about, oh god, I can't believe I don't remember it now, because it was really good, it was really profound stuff, about Aki still being able to cry, and that means that he's not crazy, and that he shouldn't be a Devil Hunter anymore. Yeah, here we are, with an army of Devil Hunters, and the hybrids are back. So, like I said several weeks ago, they're not dead, because the hybrids are immortal, so they're back. Now, we see that Denji has returned to his original Chainsaw Man form for the most part. However, his arms appear to be the arms of Chainsaw Man. He doesn't have the forearms, but they are like the armored demon shell arms. So, he has certainly still gotten some kind of power boost from the Chainsaw Man transformation. We don't know what that is yet. I assume it may just be like a general power buff or something. Maybe he'll be able to turn into the Chainsaw Man itself again. I kind of am not sure. That sounds like it would maybe be like a last resort thing, where it's like, alright, time to return to the Chainsaw Man form. Makima's too powerful. But as we've already seen, that's not really enough to kill Makima anyway. And in addition to that, Denji does not really have the means to kill Makima due to her contract. So I have a feeling he's got more going on in the background while he's got Makima distracted here or whatever. Now, Denji's conversation with Makima here is interesting. So, he asks her if in her perfect world there would be any bad movies in it. And when she says no, Denji says, I guess I have no choice than to kill you. So, I addressed this in my Chapter 84 review. Listen, fellas. If you get rid of all of the bad shit in the world, the good stuff isn't good anymore. It's just neutral. It's just there. Maybe not, getting rid of AIDS and stuff. That would not be bad. But, if you get rid of everything that makes life kind of difficult, you're just sort of there. And considering Makima plans to get rid of, essentials to existence like death, things will be kind of fucked if Makima wins. So, the bad movies thing is sort of like, I don't know, like a metaphor or something? How you got really shitty, Asylum movies. And then you've got, Oscar award-winning stuff. You've got your Sharknadoes, and then you've got your Shawshank Redemptions. Now, what would it be like if every movie was as good as Shawshank Redemption? Well, then they wouldn't stand out very much, would they? You'd just be like, oh yeah, it's just I guess it's a masterpiece or whatever. It wouldn't be anything spectacular, it would just be the norm. Because there are bad movies, which you can just sort of sit around and get drunk watching, the movies that are genuinely, awe-inspiring and really moving on an emotional level, those really stand out because they are so much better than all of the much lower quality stuff around it. So, without all of that shit, the really good stuff doesn't shine anymore. It's just there. So, I think that's sort of the figurative example that's being given here. So, Makima is like, you know what? You are not acting like Chainsaw Man. It's annoying, so you have to die. So, once again, we must remember that Makima is a huge Chainsaw Man fangirl. So, Denji acting like this while being the Chainsaw Man, you know, being applauded by the public as Chainsaw Man, it must be so infuriating for her. Like, really? This is the Chainsaw Man to you? You people gotta be kidding me. This is not the Chainsaw Man. I'll show you what the Chainsaw Man is. So, he has provoked Makima with his very existence. This should be the final nail in the coffin, that she could not give a shit about Denji. To him, at least. But of course it won't be, because, you know, Stockholm Syndrome. So, crows fly off the crosses, the hybrids go back into their forms, and we prepare for the final battle. Now, how the fuck is Denji going to win this? He's not in as nearly powerful as a form as he was when he first fought all of these hybrids. So, for starters, we're going to have a much more drawn-out battle, presumably. I mean, it's just going to take a lot more from him to beat them. Second thing is that he's able to recognize Reze, and Shadman, and Quan Chi, which he wasn't really able to do before. So that could also play a factor into what happens here. Maybe try and, I don't know, talk them out of their brainwashing. Because we've seen with Angel that it is possible to at least temporarily break out of Makima's control. We'll see if anything happens with that. However, because of Makima's contract, she can't be killed. So we have to nullify the contract. How do you do that? Well, it's very simple. You just eliminate the other person who made the contract. You have Kishibe and Kobeni go and kill the Prime Minister. There you go. So that's how you would include the two of them in this. Who knows? Maybe they'll even get Yoshida involved. You know, assuming that he's not still busy with his exams. So, I'm very excited to see what happens here. Hopefully, we will get a fight as good as, what do I think is the best fight in the series? Hopefully we'll get something as good as the Denji versus Reze fight. Hopefully. Well, hopefully something better. Now, with that out of the way, as you know, as I assume most of you know, Chainsaw Man's going to be ending soon. I mean, we'd kind of suspected that for a while. Fujimoto does not seem to really do long-running series. It seemed to be building towards a conclusion relatively soon, with the Gun Devil appearing and the death of Aki, and the appearance of the Chainsaw Man. It seemed very likely that the series was going to be ending soon, and it is. And with the seeming announcement that the series is getting into its climax, we apparently have some kind of announcement or rumor about there being an anime adaptation. Like, it isn't just people wondering about there being an anime adaptation. It's apparently an announcement. I haven't seen, like, any big official thing. It got a lot of attention on Twitter. Apparently, Chainsaw Man is going to make some kind of appearance at Jump Festa? I'm not super familiar with all the Jump events. From what I understand, that's usually, like, a big thing where you'll have, like, anime announcements or whatever. And since Chainsaw Man is going to be ending soon, it would probably be a good time to announce an anime. I mean, like, if it's ending, it's going to be like a 100-chapter-long series, like maybe a little over 100 chapters. So, instead of having, like, a seasonal anime, what you could just do is you could do like they did with the JoJo parts, and just do the whole thing, do like 40 episodes or something, in one go. You know, like a year-long anime series, and you just finish it. You just do the whole thing, and then you're done. That may happen. Now, there have been some rumors about who would do it. Some people are saying MAPPA. I don't know if that's just because Jujutsu Kaisen has been adapted by MAPPA and it's very popular right now. Can't really comment on that. I mean, MAPPA's been doing a pretty good job with the Jujutsu Kaisen anime. There is a criticism that I've heard from some people that really just keeps irritating me incessantly. And I know that with whatever anime adaptation Chainsaw Man gets, no matter what studio does it, we're gonna get this complaint. Hey, the anime doesn't look like the manga. Yeah, well, no fucking shit. It's not the manga, and it's not drawn by the same person who draws the manga, so it's not going to look exactly the same. And also, sometimes manga art styles are really hard to adapt into like a moving picture. I mean, Jujutsu Kaisen, the manga is like really rough. That's just the art style. So the anime is much like smoother. Everything's got nice soft edges to it instead of being all rough looking. And there are some people, you don't really see that many of them, there are some people that complain about it. And to those people, please shut the fuck up. I cannot fucking stand listening to you bitch every week when an episode comes out. So, whenever a Chainsaw Man anime comes out, please shut the fuck up, bitching about how it doesn't look like the manga. As long as they have something resembling the appearance of the manga, and it's well animated, and, sort of maintain the tone, and the directing, and the pacing, it's good. Don't fucking complain so much about it. This is why a lot of you don't deserve nice things. If it gets a CGI adaptation, we may be in different territory. CGI anime has done... It's improved a lot, actually, in more recent years. Another anime that is adapted from a manga with a very rough, sketchy art style is Dorohedoro. So, I mentioned in my God of High School video that I am reading Dorohedoro. I read, like, the first 3/4 of the season of the anime that's out now, and then I watched the last quarter of it, due to various circumstances. And it was good. Like, the anime adaptation was still good, even though it was CGI. So, just because it's CG doesn't mean it's going to be bad. There are certain manga art styles that you can't have a group of animators adapt that into 2D animation. Like, they just don't have the skill for it. It's not something that can be done. So sometimes you've got to do CGI animation. Now, another thing that really pisses me off is when people act like CGI is sort of like this cop-out thing that requires no effort. No, CGI still requires, like, a lot of work. Maybe not as much as 2D animation, because you have to, like, hand-draw every frame. But to act like it requires no effort to do CGI, like it's just a cop-out, that's just, like, so fucking disrespectful to the people that work on it. And I really can't stand people that don't respect those who work in the, animation industry. It's a pretty demanding business. Like, all of the stuff that goes into producing an animation, it's a lot of work. I think a problem is that a lot of people seem to be under the impression that the way animation works is you just insert money into a computer, and the more money you insert into it, the higher quality the animation is. There's no account for, like, the directing, and the art design, and the storyboarding, and the sound design. There's a whole bunch of shit that goes into it just beyond budget. And even in a CGI anime, it'll take a lot of fucking work to make something good. So, if Chainsaw Man gets a CGI anime, don't just abandon it immediately. It can still be good. So, like, you just have to wait to see what it is. Now that I've spent like half the video ranting about that, we'll just have to see what happens with like an official announcement. I mean, I'm personally very excited to see what happens with an anime. There's a lot of shit that I would very much like to see animated. The Sharknado scene, the Darkness Devil, stuff like that. I can't wait to see that put into motion. So I'm personally very much excited to see whatever happens with an anime adaptation. So hopefully we'll get official news on that soon. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss any of my uploads. I do Chainsaw Man reviews every week. I recently just surpassed my milestone goal of hitting 250 subscribers before the end of the year, so our new sort of goal is to just see how close I can get to 500 subs before the end of the year. So, if you don't mind, please subscribe, and we'll see how close we can get to that goal. If you enjoy other series such as Record of Ragnarok, Jujutsu Kaisen, and Kengan Omega, I do videos on those series as well, so if you're interested in those, you should definitely check out my channel. If you enjoy discussing Chainsaw Man with other people, or you just enjoy the content I produce on this channel, I highly suggest you check out my Discord server. I have a link to it on my channel. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you around.